Europe, check it out, family. 2026, I told y'all the veil is gone. Now, we got Stranger Things activity going on in our sky over there in Brazil. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this video. But for me observing, that don't look like something that's going down. It look like it's traveling either sideways through the sky or slightly going up, but it's not coming down. I mean, hey, it's so much shit going on, y'all. It's to the point, like, when they gonna beam us up on phonograph? Shit is crazy.
Yeah, welcome back with another banger. Yeah. Hit that like, sub it up, the react files. Back with another banger. Hit that like, sub it up, the react files. Y'all feel me? Let's run it.
Oh my! But when I was watching the trailer for S4 that you guys released, about 80% of the way through the trailer, you guys show a disc that is at night, but then kind of coats itself in this orange.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dude, I paused it there and I said, oh my God, that looks exactly like the footage that I have. So this footage, supposedly authentic, was taken by two college kids who wanted to go to Area 51 in the 90s. I believe it was 1995, and film their experience of trying to see if they could stumble upon a UFO or just alien activity of sorts.
Let's break this down. A couple of college-age guys drove out to the Black Mailbox, an infamous landmark entrance point to Area 51. It's along the road that leads to Groom Lake, extremely close to where Bob said he worked. It's nighttime. They're parked right in front of the fence surrounding the secret facility. The lights are off on their car, and they have a camera resting on the armrest, pointed through the front windshield.
And then it cuts to under the dashboard, and you see something very clearly illuminating like the top of the dashboard, and they're like hunkered underneath the car, and they're whispering to each other like, I think it's out there, like I don't know what it is, maybe we should go out, and they're like kind of scared.
Then something appears just beyond the glass. The craft is hovering extremely close to the car. It's orange and slightly wobbling or undulating in place as if it's on a wave. You can hear the two guys whispering.
Yeah, that to me is exactly how it was described by Bob. It's exactly like your hand did.
Yeah, it's moving the right way. Yeah. It's the right color and it's the right shape. So it makes it very compelling.
The intensity of the light, there's something very, very bright that is affecting that. The dash is being lit. It's the dash of the vehicle, and the craft is above it.
Right.
And look at the intent. Here's the dash, and look at the intensity of the light that's going to happen here. Right. Well, there. Those are really.
Yeah, you can, and it's fading in.
You can't fake that.
You can see that it wobbles.
But it wobbles. Like your film. It wobbles. That's the important thing. Yeah. So it does.
That's wild. Shout out to UAP Global. Shout out to Logan Paul. Shout out to Bob Lazar. My question is, how did Logan get the footage? And it's weird how that dude was talking for Bob like he was his handler or something. I'm very skeptical. I think we need to see the people who actually took this footage and hear it from them. So yeah, I'm on the fence with this one. Sounds good, but I'm not convinced.
The most evidence-based UFO encounter I've ever come across.
Whoa.
Wow.
The Cash-Landrum incident. Betty Cash, her neighbor, Vicky Landrum, and her grandson, Colby Landrum, were driving in this rural part of Texas. They were driving along this road, and they saw this super bright light ahead, and they kept on getting closer. And best way they could describe it was this diamond-shaped thing that's bright as the sun, but there's fire spitting out of the bottom of it. Like, Betty gets out of the car. She's standing there staring at it. And they said the heat coming off of it was just intense. 20 to 25 helicopters come and swarm around this thing. So it's almost like they escorted this diamond UFO, but they get home and they notice pretty instantly that all of them feel sick.
Oh no.
In fact, they start throwing up,
Oh,
have
no.
diarrhea, their skin
Radiation.
starts peeling off. Betty's almost dead. She's so sick, she can't even get up to get a glass of water. Betty starts losing hair. And because the doctor's like, what you have is a blast of radiation. They explained what happened. The doctors were like, what the heck? There's a man from NASA and he's like, there is physical evidence. So they go to court with the U.S. government, specifically the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. government. Before it can even go to trial, the general of the Air Force is meeting with the judge. And then the judge comes out and says, well, I'm not bringing this to court. Sadly, Betty, very shortly after this, eventually dies of cancer.
That's wild.
Yes. Do it. Sing it. Yes. Let's go. Pin.
Get your seal cover.
Seal cover. Here. Right there. Got it? We got you.
I got you, laddie, so lean over.
Take your time. Seal cover's on. All right, hit it. All right. 4 green. Ike, welcome home. Christina, welcome home. Yes. Jeremy, absolutely welcome home, brother. There it is, Reed. What's up? Welcome home, brother.
Thank you. Hey.
All right. Thank you. I also have something for you.
Lad, you better have something better than blood pressure.
All right, real quick. Found another one of them apps y'all go crazy over. I know I've shown apps like this before, and you guys literally ran them up. Like, all the good games were gone. So, I had to find a new one. It's called Tester Up, and it pays you to test mobile games. It's basically the same idea. You just play games and get paid. But this one actually has a few games I haven't seen on the other ones yet. If you try it, make sure you use my link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen so you're on the exact one I'm using. I've been messing around with it a bit, and it's actually pretty easy to stack some money just playing casually. Don't just search it, use my link or scan a QR, otherwise you might end up on a different one. And if you try it, DM me what you make. You guys always send me crazy screenshots, so I'm trying to see who runs this one up. If you need some extra money and you're always playing games on your phone, hit the link in the description or scan the QR code and try it out.
Imagine being with your friends and then being photobombed by your mom. The only problem is your mother is no longer with you. This woman was out with her friends eating dinner at a restaurant when they decided to take a selfie, but it turns out there's one extra person in the photo. A figure stands behind these women. It looks like it has long blonde hair, but the face is distorted, like it's not fully visible yet. There's no real definition in her clothes or anything either, and she's just one solid gray color. Now, one woman in this photo recognized this immediately because it looks just like her mother, who had passed away several years before. But she carries her mother's ashes in a necklace locket, and she fully believes that her mother is with her wherever she goes. And this photo clarified that for her, that her mom is for sure with her wherever she goes. Would your mom photobomb you?
My mom probably would. Shout out to Chelsea. Whoa, that's wild. I don't know if I'd be touched or terrified. I guess it depends on what I'm doing.
Forbidden City, China. They are guarded by these guys. Look really closely at what that paw is sitting on. Do you know what that is? That is knowledge that was guarded at all costs in every culture in the ancient world. To understand what this was, you had to go through a very intense process, training in many temples to become worthy of knowing. They guarded it so closely because learning it unlocks new pathways in the mind, a new way of seeing the world. They figured out a way to teach you everything you need to know about the universe using only a circle and a straight line. When you draw a bunch of circles and connect those lines, you can project it into 3D as this shape. It's the vector matrix. It's where our concept of the matrix comes from. Inside the circle is a tetrahedron, a three-sided pyramid. It's the simplest shape you can draw to triangulate any point within any circle. Now, if that matrix is a fabric of space-time, we can grab that fabric and twist it down to create particle. This goes straight into the concept of the atom. The atom comes from the word atum in Egypt. Read that description. It's also the origin of ADM, atom, in Hebrew. So up here you can see the shape evolving into the icon that we know. That icon geometrically is the vector equilibrium. It's one of the most stable shapes because all lines and angles are exactly the same throughout the whole shape. That is an actual picture from IBM of an atom. Check out how closely all of those points hit on the electron clouds. Now the Bohr model makes a little bit more sense. If that wasn't weird enough, this knowledge goes smaller. That is a quantum carpet. They're used to visualize particle density and explain how waves become particles. Now all of these translate into complex math equations. If we mathematically map out the quantum carpet of a torus, we get that. Do you see a pattern here? In my last video, I showed you how the ancient Sumerians knew about this quantum wave interaction. So ancient Sumerians knew about this, ancient Chinese knew about this, ancient Hindus knew about this, Native Americans knew about this, ancient Egyptians knew about this, but you don't know about this. Do not worry, I wrote an entire book about it. It comes out in a couple days. It's the sequel to my last book, Codex Esoterica. If the last one blew your mind, this one will wipe it clean completely. Physical copies are on Amazon. Do not buy that one. That one was plagiarized. Or you can just go to the link in any one of my social bios and it will take you to all of the versions that I have available, digital, physical, all of it. I need a haircut real bad. So if you've been thinking about buying it, all proceeds go directly to my head.
Come on, guys. Let's help get this man a haircut. Shout outs to baseforce.us. It's toroidal. Looks like that book is a must-have for sure. Very interesting. And he makes a good point. How come we don't know about this stuff? This is what they need to be teaching in the schools.
What is going on? Get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my gosh!
This fisherman was surrounded by sharks in a feeding frenzy about 300 yards off the coast of North Carolina. Brett Barley is a professional surfer and was trying to find blackfin tuna and red drumfish off the coast of Cape Point. But Barley accidentally caught a shark, and the shark was able to bite through his fishing line and swim free.
Broke him off. All right. Whatever.
Barley drove his watercraft back where he caught the shark to take more videos, but he realized he was surrounded.
Oh my word! Look at him!
The sharks were feeding on bait fish. Barley believed they were spinner sharks and said if you see dozens of sharks above the surface, there's probably far more below. Barley says he stayed calm and drove through the feeding frenzy to get out of the area safely.
Kanye dropped his new album.
There's a theory.
The Father video, right?
The whole music video is about the system and it's about the matrix. So in the very beginning of the video, what happens? You see Kanye sitting in the church pew.
Yes.
The door behind him opens up and you see like a knight in armor come through. And they're either taken away and arrested or they're allowed to leave. You see he gets caught by these two people in astronaut suits. And they rip off a mask, hiding him an alien. As an alien. He's trying to say he's something the Matrix can't understand. So because they can't categorize him, they want him out. Now, behind him, you know who's behind him? Who? Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, in the corner.
Yeah, the reason Michael Jackson is there is because Michael Jackson was one of the first people to experience this. They couldn't categorize who Michael Jackson was. They took him out.
You're right.
10 warehouse fires, an OpenAI CEO's home getting a Molotov cocktail and shots fired to it, all within a 3-day span of this original video going super duper viral, where we were asked, you only had to pay us enough to live. So since our original Paper Mario bust out onto the scene Friday morning, there's been a total of 10 warehouse or storefront fires, and again, this Molotov cocktail incident with Sam Altman. So let's get into all 10 corroborated as one just broke just now. That is brand new. We're gonna go through Alpha, which is number 1. That is the toilet paper warehouse facility. And then we've got 2, Queens, New York, which is Lumbar, broke out on the scene Saturday morning. 0 casualties as well. Ohio Amazon Amazon caused by the solar panels, 0 casualties there. Ohio lumber in Wayne County, so 2 on the scoreboard for Ohio over there, 0 casualties from what we've heard. And then Bakersfield, California, an abandoned warehouse, 0 casualties. San Bernardo, commercial structure, 0 casualties. That's also California. True Religion jean store, which happened in the same city as the Alpha Fire in California. So that's where we're hitting up right there in California for a total of, because now, 5 Lamp, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram happening right here. Just found out about this one literally this afternoon. And then New Jersey's racking on in here with chemical warehouse with 0 casualties from what we can tell online right now then too. And then a commercial structure near the airport in Gwent County, Georgia, 0 casualties from what we've heard. And that one was apparently spontaneous combustion as the attributions. Only 2 things attributed to all 10 of these warehouse fires, aside from the patron saint of Paper Mario over here, who has also compared himself to Luigi in the past as well now too. There's news coming out that he has sat there and said that he feels as though he is Luigi. So he's pled not guilty. And we are officially entering Class War 2026 unofficially.
I am so confused. Like, what's really going on? Is this just a coincidence? Like, what's up? They burning up all the truths in the toilet paper. Shout outs to Distill Social. Definitely want to keep an eye on this one for real. You only had to pay us enough to live. Yo, that's crazy. That sounds like a war cry. Got people comparing themselves to Luigi, Jesus. Yo, what day and age are we in right now?
Are you suffering from a serious life-threatening illness? Has your doctor told you you're probably going to die? My name is Dr. Donald Trump, and I have helped millions of patients with conditions just like yours. Cancer, heart disease, ALS, you name it. Conditions your doctor said were untreatable. I've seen them all and I fixed them all. I use an advanced technique that the cheating medical establishment don't want you to know about. The results are, frankly, incredible. Nobody gets results like this. They're the greatest results.
They gave me 6 weeks to live, but then I called the hotline and was healed entirely through the phone.
I was clinically brain dead, and my wife was about to pull the plug when the doctor saved my life.
If you or someone you love is suffering, don't wait. Don't let the corrupt medical establishment tell you what's possible. Call 1-900-NOT-JESUS today. Let's make your health great again.
So correct me if I'm wrong. President Donald J. Trump posted a picture of himself looking like Jesus, and nobody has a problem with it. You got some people that's outraged, and then you got some people that's like, oh, this is the type of stuff that he does. But y'all don't even see where he going with it. If you go down that rabbit hole, you'll see that there's 2 different pictures. There's one picture with just soldiers. And there's one picture, which is this picture right here, that he posted with this crown wing figure. And before I get to my point, I need you to do some research on crown wing figure. I'ma just leave that where that's at. Now you see how they said that this was just a joke? You see how they said that he said he wasn't portraying Jesus, that he was portraying a doctor. They kikied about it. J.D. Vance gets on an interview and says, it was a joke. It wasn't anything serious. But it's bigger than that. I want you to take a look at this right here. Because once you see what I'm about to show you, you'll understand exactly why he put this picture up right here. Actually, he put this picture up right after he said this. Look at this shit. Pay attention.
Pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo.
Don't let that go over your head. Trump is the savior. That's what some people think. Pay attention.
The timing of it all is very creepy. Shout out to Expensive Talk. I felt like a lot of people outside of MAGA was offended by this picture. For sure. I think everybody was.
Swinging at the Pope. Swinging at the Pope. This is what he said. Leo should be thankful because as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He was not on any list to be Pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American, and they thought that that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. if I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. I'm sorry. What? Look, I'm not here to pretend that I'm a theologian, that I've been Catholic for a long time, but is that what goes on at Conclave? Do the cardinals arrive and they go, oh, well, we were going to do our thing, but like what really matters is Trump's president, and we want to make sure that we can deal with Trump. So we're just going to make somebody from Chicago. That feels like the right thing because he's got a Trump Tower in Chicago. Like, is that what he thinks happened? You cannot be that narcissistic. Can you? Can you? I think he is.
No, this whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
And I'm making fun of it, but I want to be clear that he is truly, and I do not say this to be extra, I do not say this to be performative, he is truly under demonic influence. You see that in the prayers.
I say as a Christian, it should be mandated to go to Israel before you get to heaven.
The message of the church, my message, the message of the gospel, blessed are the peacemakers. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed. And I think someone has to stand up and say, there's a better way to do this.
Now let's cut to what Trump had to say when he was asked about why he attacked the Pope. Take a listen.
We don't like a Pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a Pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
Guess what? He's literally trying to stop crime because what you are doing in the Middle East is criminal. Everybody is telling you that. You've lost a large portion of your base. You have lost MAGA. You've lost Megyn Kelly. You've lost B. You've lost Alex Jones. You've lost, and that's just in terms of the commentariat, if you will. And you refuse to see reality. Catholics in general, you can't support Trump.
There is something important hidden in this picture. Do you see it? Now, by now, I would imagine most of y'all have seen this image the president posted of himself dressed in white and red robes in a Jesus-like pose, appearing to heal a man, and you can see American symbols, things like a flag, military personnel, fighter jets in the background. But there's something kind of hidden in plain sight. Let me show you. Does it help when I highlight it? Let me go a little closer. Now, do you see it? Let me zoom back out. Now you have this shadowy figure high above the scene which resembles a winged being with 3 horns. This imagery is being compared to the warning in Daniel 7, which describes a rising ruler who overthrows 3 kings or kingdoms as he gains power. Daniel 7:8 says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted before it, with each horn representing a different leader or kingdom. The book of Daniel is often considered the twin to the book of Revelation, as both are major apocalyptic books in the Bible. Daniel 7 describes a vision of powerful kingdoms rising and falling, symbolized by beasts and horns, before God ultimately judges them and establishes his eternal kingdom. Specifically, Daniel 7:8 introduces a little horn that rises among others and uproots 3 kings or kingdoms, imagery many prophecy interpreters associate with the rise of a dominant ruler before the end of its age. Now, this was posted on Trump's own Truth Social, either by him or someone on his staff. Regardless, the common theme throughout many online discussions is that this reference to the Antichrist was intentional, and I'm not saying Trump is or isn't. I'm not here to debate theology. I'm just here to tell you that this was worth notating, because when you couple this with the fact that he has a current feud going on with Pope Leo, it's got a lot of people concerned. And regardless, the imagery has sparked outrage among many Christians who deemed it blasphemy. Now, to be fair, President Trump has described himself as a non-denominational Christian. He has stated that he is a religious person who believes in God and who has praised the Bible. Regardless, this image is stirring up a lot of discussion. Drop your thoughts about it in the comments, especially if you identify as a Christian. Would love to know what you guys think about this.
Very interesting. You know, we can all say it was just a simple prompt into an AI engine, and this is what it produced. One thing I've learned is that nothing is coincidental. Shout out to Justin and Nick of Crime.
So let me get this straight. Trump just posted an image of himself portrayed as Jesus, and people are just okay with this? Am I the only one who finds this weird? Not only that, but look at the background. In the original image, there's soldiers in the background. In the one that Trump uses, it swaps them for a crowned winged figure. Why change it and add symbolism like that when crowned winged figures are often associated with Lucifer and other demonic entities? And look at the person that he's healing. Kind of looks like Epstein. Coincidence? Maybe, but how many coincidences before people start asking questions? Because when powerful people start portraying themselves in religious imagery, things start to get weird. And I think things are about to get a lot more weird. But what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist who knows my savior is not a man. Let me know what you think.
I think this is absolutely not okay. Shout out to Goober Homestead. My question is, what's with the repost? That's crazy that he remixed the original to replace it with some craziness. Like, I guess my question is, how do they know there was an original photo? Because then you can absolutely just say it was the prompt, it was AI. But to remix it and switch something out, now that's a whole nother level.
Are y'all truly ready for this deep dive? Because it goes back decades. Didn't I just tell you last week that Apollo, Apollyon, Abaddon, Helios, Lucifer was coming back through the art he's making? What do you know? They're the same exact being. Hey, you remember when Marina Abramovich came out and said that Donald Trump was the highest ranking warlock in the world, basically? More on that in a second. So of course, posted himself as Jesus. He admitted it himself earlier today, but in the same image, he added something from the last time this was posted, and that was this creature, this thing right here. That's Apollo. Yes, in fact, the same exact deity that's on the arch. Some could call him Helios. Remember, Nero Caesar in the 1st century destroyed all the Christians there was, and he transformed into Apollo himself. He also had a mortal wound to the head by a sword. Y'all remember when Trump did not put his hand on the Bible? That was crazy. You know the parable of the goats and the sheep from the Bible when the goats go to hell and the sheep go to heaven? We had this golden goat made for Trump with golden feet, golden horns. On the dollar bills it says, "In Trump we trust." Y'all think this is the first time he put his name in the place of God? It's not. Of course, he made himself to be the Pope, and this is the second time he posted his image of him being Jesus. With the red vesture because it's dipped in blood like Revelation, you know, for Jesus, the Alpha and the Omega. It's also odd because, you know, inversion from the occult, but of course we see the magician wearing red and that same exact thing that Trump was wearing too. Again, Satan loves inversions. Marina Abramovich said that Trump was putting a spell on the entire world. Read this real quick. If Trump did something to my daughters, I would forgive him because Jesus calls me to forgive. True, but watch this. It'd be the holiest act of love I could ever choose, but I would still politically support him as my president. Yes. Brother, what? After he violated your daughter? Hold on. Now check this out. After he posted himself as Jesus, he posted Trump Tower. The Trump Tower is pretty significant itself on top of the moon. I've been telling y'all for years he's the moon child, was born right under the blood moon. The same one that Aleister Crowley started the rituals, I believe, in the 20s, going to the Babylon working in the 40s. Let me refresh your memory. The moon child will rule by liberty. And by liberty, he will destroy the Black Brotherhood. The Black Brotherhood to these demons is Christianity. He just happens to have the word of peace when they say peace and safety, a strong parallel. He's signing Bibles not just now, but in 2019 as well. This was a real picture published in the Time magazine, which, by the way, people are like, oh, he fell for the AI image. Of course it's an AI image. Who has to friggin' tell you it's an AI image if it's a cartoon? And for some reason, people have been seeing this beast, this Apollo, this Helios, this Abaddon, this Apollyon, this Lucifer, this Lightbringer in their dreams. If you've been watching me the last few years and you're caught up, you know what I'm saying. I've been warning about all this stuff for years. If you're confused, the YT video is about to go up, and it goes a lot deeper, especially in the Trump Tower and the 666 5th Avenue. All you gotta do is search Real Moon Henry. But of course, don't mind me, shoot the messenger.
Listen, man, don't shoot nobody. Everybody be cool. Shout outs to Real Moon Henry. Helios. Well, that answers the question we had to Goober Homestead's video. I guess he posted it, then reposted it. Yo, that's wild. And then post the Trump Towers on the moon. Yo, it's wild. I totally forgot about that AI photo he made as the Pope. Totally forgot about that one. I guess that didn't age well.
Listen up. This is Apollo. Now listen to this. on the Great Seal of the United States. More importantly, the prophecy on the Great Seal, the Novus Ordo Seclorum, is taken from the Cumae Sibyl, a priestess of Apollo, who prophesied that at the end of time, Apollo would return to the earth and it would give birth to a new golden age. Well, the golden age in Greek mythology is when the gods and the demigods walked upon the earth. And her prophecy is not just that Apollo will return, but that it will give birth to a new race of people who have been merged with the gods. So again, the same kind of symbolism, but Apollo's father, according to her prophecy, is Jupiter. And if you look at ancient depictions of Jupiter, he is pulled through the heavens by two flying winged serpents.
Welcome to the golden age.
I also find it really interesting how Donald Trump posted this picture when Orthodox Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And then on Easter, if you look at what he posted, it was also probably the most insane tweet of the year, mocking Iran, saying praise be to Allah, not even saying Jesus Christ is king first or happy Easter. He straight up said, open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, and mocked their God. He justified the next morning by deleting the tweet and saying, yeah, I did post it, but I just thought I was a doctor. It's like, bro, if you literally search Jesus Christ on Google, the first outfit is the same as yours on the picture, and doctors typically wear scrubs or like a stethoscope. It also looks like he is in heaven with the clouds literally in the sky and his hand on someone healing them. Oh, Mark, you're so soft. Everyone is just getting so soft lately. No. If you know me personally, you know I'm all for trolling and having fun, but this, I think it's soft to justify what this man is doing day in and day out. I mean, at one point, you got to put your foot down and saying something weird is going on.
I don't care if you call me a lefty. I've been told I'm too far right. I've been told I'm too far left. I've had people call me and tell me you need to chill with your views on this or that or the war in Israel. Whatever it is, I don't care. Can I just speak for 95% of Christians out there and say, we are really tired of this. This is blasphemy. You've got angels that are soldiers or something. You've got Donald Trump clearly portraying himself as God. This is exactly what the Bible calls blasphemy. It's not even close. This is what the Ten Commandments is talking about when it says, do not take the Lord's name in vain. And if you are so blinded that you can't call your president out as a Christian because you're a Republican, that does not make you a Christian. You are blind. You are following the cult of conservatism. We've now seen this man. And I'm not talking about policies. I'm not talking about policies at all. If you know me, you know I lean more conservative. But we've now seen a man who's created posts with transgender people dancing in his new Trump Gaza hotel during the same time when thousands of people are being killed in Gaza. Wherever you stand on that war, I don't care. That's not the time to make light of that. We've seen Trump portray the Obamas as monkeys. Well, it was an accident. It was his staffer. You're the commander-in-chief. Bear in mind, I have voted Republican and I will likely continue to vote Republican because the other side is so bananas. But this, as a Christian, grieves my heart. We need to pray for our president. We need to beg the Lord for mercy that the Lord doesn't remove his hand of favor from our country when our leader is being openly blasphemous. Lord, have mercy.
Hoping we don't lose that hand of favor. Lord have mercy. Shout out to Ryan Miller. First time seeing this dude. I don't know who he is, but what he's saying really resonates. We're living in sensitive times and we shouldn't be poking fun at people's cultures.
Would you look at that? Right. In Grand Theft Auto 4, there's a main character by the name of Nico Bellic. Now, Nico is not from America. He's traveling over to America to live the American dream. But as he's chasing this American dream, he runs into a woman that he really, really likes. Her name is Michelle. Now, on a mission called The First Date, Nico is traveling to Michelle's house to take her on a first date. Michelle's not ready yet, so she invites Nico into the house to wait as she's getting ready. When Nico enters the apartment building, he feels something is off. He's looking around and the couch is brand new. The appliances are brand new. The TV is brand new. Everything has the tags on them. And he feels it down in his gut. Something is off. So he asks Michelle, you just move in? Michelle says no. She blames it on her OCD. She says she likes things very clean, and when they get dirty, she just gets rid of them and buys a new one. Now, Nico's not stupid. He feels it down in his gut something is wrong. But he likes her too much. He's too distracted. So he lets it slide and gives her the benefit of the doubt. Later on in the game, Towards the end, you find out that Michelle is an undercover cop. She lines up Nico, hands him over to the government, and becomes a slave to the system. See, Nico should have trusted his gut, but he didn't. He was too distracted. He liked her too much, and it cost him. When Trump was sworn in as the president of the United States, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. A lot of y'all said it was a mistake. Some of y'all were too distracted, and some of y'all liked him too much. But you had that feeling in your gut. When his administration uses Jesus' death and resurrection as a way to describe how they saved an airman that they set off to war, a lot of y'all said it's just an analogy. Some of y'all were too distracted, and some of y'all just liked him too much. But you had that feeling in your gut. Now, when Trump said, "Praise be to Allah," on Easter Day, a lot of y'all said he was just joking. Some of y'all were too distracted, and some of y'all just like him too much. But you had that feeling in your gut. Now, when his administration told soldiers that this war was God's divine plan, a lot of y'all said that was fake news. Some of y'all were distracted, and some of y'all liked him too much. But you had that feeling in your gut. And now Trump has posted a photo depicting himself as God healing the people. Now he's going to tell you that's not what this is. Some of y'all are going to be too distracted, and some of y'all like him too much to even care. But you all got that feeling down in your gut. And I'm asking you to trust it this time. Because he going to line you up. And as long as you allow him to use your belief, your faith, your religion, your God to get off his plan, you're always going to be part of his system. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't, stay out of trouble.
Give that man a round of applause. That was poetic. That was that Dave Chappelle right there, man. That comedy with a meaning. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Pre-Misterlin. Everything he said was on point. Totally agree. He brought it back to Grand Theft Auto 4. Nico's gut. That was dope.
We have some major news right now. MAGA is now declaring Trump the Antichrist. The MAGA rupture is growing fast on Truth Social, with his everyday supporters declaring him the Antichrist. And with every hour, there's a new update on this, and it's getting even crazier. So here's what you need to know. Look at these comments. Trump is depicting himself as Jesus, God now. You know who does that in Revelation? The Antichrist. Literal blasphemy. Yep, and I'm officially 100% done with you at this point. Mocking our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is beyond ridiculous at this point. I cannot believe I voted for you 3 times. This is incredibly disturbing, Don. You are not okay. I'd call this idolatry, 25th Amendment time. This is completely wrong. Mocking Jesus now? I can't believe I voted for this traitor. Disgusting, sad. We elected the Antichrist. When MAGA is comparing their president to the Antichrist, demanding that he apologize, which I doubt he will, I don't think we've seen something like this before. So spread the word, subscribe to my Substack, link in bio to support my work, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Donald Trump depicting himself as Jesus Christ healing a man. And MAGA, reasonably, very upset. Weirdly surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm sure you're not surprised, but they are saying things like, I can't believe I voted for you 3 times. I can. Because if the basis of this was your faith in Christ, then the serial adultery, the 2016 comment where he said he's never asked God for forgiveness because he didn't need to, would have been enough. Joking about assaulting women, demonizing a disabled man, mocking prisoners of war, policies that demonize and disenfranchise the poor, the racism, the convictions, the porn star, all would have been enough. Trump thinks he's a king. Those No Kings protests make a lot more sense now, don't they? This traitor, no, you betrayed your faith. And now it is so glaring you can't look away and you're embarrassed. Because I don't think that all Trump supporters are racists and grapists or P3DO supporters or con men, but I do know that it wasn't a deal breaker for you.
Have y'all seen this video where this guy is robbing this store and the police are there? They're going into the store and this guy actually shapeshifts into an animal and gets away. It is actually insane. It was taken in Mexico, so a lot of people think that this is a bruja. But right there, you see it go from a human to what looks like a deer and jump out the window with the cops approaching the door. And it gets away. So look inside of this door right here. It's a human. And then it turns into what looks like a deer or maybe a dog. And it looks abnormally tall while it's shifting. It's like growing and shrinking, and it turns into an animal right here. There it is. And then it jumps out of a window and runs away as the cops are approaching. Now, before you say that this was AI, this was made years ago. This video is from like 2013 or 2014, and AI didn't exist back then. Now, I have heard plenty of stories about Bruja shapeshifting, but what do you guys think? What do you think this is? Let me know.
Yo, I feel like that was real. Shout outs to Chelsea. Whoa. Shout outs to Down the Rabbit Hole. Looks legit.
It's hard to tell. I mean, There's the thunder. Could be a plant. Could be a
This is happening underwater, and people on the beach have no idea. That spinning vortex, it's called a tornado rip, according to surf.com. A powerful rip current that starts rotating almost like a tornado in the ocean. From above, you can see it clearly. From shore, it's completely invisible, and that's what makes it dangerous. These form when waves and swells start colliding, forcing water into narrow channels that rush back out to sea. And if you get caught in one, don't fight it, conserve energy by floating until you're out of it.
Esto lo voy a dejar registrado porque son 16 de diciembre, 11 de la noche. Bueno, mira, esta wea está pasando hace mucho rato y acá estoy sola, wea. No hay nadie.
What is the dragon bloodline really? The dragon bloodline refers to an ancient, highly advanced master race of priest kings and goddess queens who were genetically bred to be the overlords of human society. This royal lineage traces its roots back to the Anunnaki, aka fallen angels, and descends directly from the Anunnaki goddess Lilith. In The Dragon Legacy, Nicholas de Ver explains how the pure elven royalty were characterized by tall stature, translucent pale skin, green or blue eyes, and the royal coloring of red or red gold hair. To maintain their heightened intelligence, extraordinary magical powers, and extreme longevity, the dragon queens and kings practice an organic alchemical ritual known as royal vampirism, which involved the ritualistic ingestion of starfire, the menstrual blood, and female of virgin grail maidens and dragon princesses. In his Genesis 6 conspiracy series, Gary Wayne describes how, as the dragon bloodline migrated into Europe and Asia, it was carried by the royal Scythians, the Aryans, and the Celtic Tuatha De Danann, the tribe of Anu. These fair-skinned, red-haired, and green-eyed overlords became mythologized as the elves, fairies, and the Shining Ones. In Celtic Britain, the lineage manifested in the Pendragons, or Head Dragons, a title held by kings such as Cymbeline and the legendary King Arthur. Ultimately, the Celtic, Merovingian, and Norse Grail lineages were all unified in the Scottish House of Stuart, which was celebrated as the quote, House of Unicorns. Following the deposition of the Stuarts, the bloodline has continued to survive to the present day in a network of interlinked aristocratic families known as the Rex Deus. These contemporary families include the Sinclairs, the Habsburg Lorraines, the Plantards, the Luxembourgs, and the House of Vere.
Sounds like something out of Game of Thrones. The dragon bloodline. Acknowledge me. Shout out to the esoteric nomad.
I tupnij jeszcze im nogą. Dobrze, i wystraż jeszcze.
Listen up. So this is one of the astronauts that was on the Artemis 2 mission. But y'all gotta watch this.
Earth, it was all the blackness around it.
Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe.
Looks like someone's earpiece malfunctioned. What's funny is this person right here has been described by commentators as straight out of Central Casting. I wonder why. Because she played in this movie as Volvolini. There's her name right there. Not only that, but I want to talk about this movie right here, Fly Me to the Moon. It was made in 2024. And it's set against the backdrop of Apollo 11 mission. The story follows Jones and Davis as she is tasked with creating a false moon landing in case his actual mission fails. Kind of like they did with the first moon landing. And this movie was supposed to be called Project Artemis. And in the movie, the code name of Project Artemis was a government backup plan, which was used to film a fake moon landing. The more you know.
She was in the movie Mad Max. Wow. Shout outs to Please Stay Awake. Central Casting. No wonder she forgot her lines. And please let's not forget that this happened on April Fools. Wow.
Did you know they proved telepathy in the 1950s? This person designed something called a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage does not let electromagnetic waves in, meaning the light spectrum, the visible and invisible. This was a copper enclosure designed to block these waves from the outside world, so there's no interference. And this person placed the subject Harry Stone in it. Isolated from all the signals, Stone entered a deep parasympathetic state. This is the state of rest and digest. It is a slower heart rate, a relaxed but your intestinal activity increases, which helps digestion, counteracts your fight or flight, which most of us are stuck in because the world makes us this way. But we can get out of it at any time and become telepathic. One way to do this is vagus nerve resets. Look it up on YouTube. Okay, but back to this quick. So in this deep parasympathetic state that anyone can get into, the subject accurately received transmitted information from a sender located outside the cage. They concluded that it was not the absence of interference that enabled this reception. It was actually the shift in the autonomic nervous system state from adrenergic, which is a fight or flight response, increased heart rate, blood pressure. And remember, you can be in this even though you don't mean to because you have trauma and your inner child is perpetually stuck in this. And it shifted from that to the parasympathetic calm state that opens the channel. Basically being yourself, being calm, a healed person who can feel as a channel. This is good for business, guys. Guys listening, all about the nervous system because that's actually your consciousness. That's the second part of your consciousness, the feeling part. The cage eliminated every external variable and what only remains is the body itself. Basically, with this more subtle body and actual body, the human organism is equipped with faculties that transcend the known sensory channels. Obviously, it could improve that existence, but there's a map of these conditions which they reliably emerge, meaning when you're in the parasympathetic state, you have the conditions for telepathy. This is how you get ideas in the shower or when you're driving. And this book, published by Inner Traditions, is awesome. And guess what it talks about? It talks about something called psi-plasma. Basically, this psi-plasma, what I call four-dimensional plasma or dark plasma, holds consciousness. It can actually go through the Faraday cage. It is the vehicle for consciousness. I might have got. It is your subtle body. It holds your consciousness. So you want to be psychic? Get in touch with your nervous system, sweeties. Proof life is intelligently designed, the way to heal ourselves. It's magic. I'm in plasma to learn more about this.
Yo, that's wild. Shout out to Dana Keppel. I ain't gonna cap. I got a lot of great ideas while I was in the shower and while driving. I think the experiment with the Faraday cage is fascinating. Make sure y'all go to her page and type plasma if y'all want to learn more.
Yeah. Me as a doctor. Here's something you almost never see President Trump do. Delete a controversial social media post. And yet, the president has done just that after sharing an image that depicted him as Jesus Christ.
I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. Only the fake news could come up with that one. I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor.
Now, the president posted this image on his Truth Social page, and shortly thereafter started getting some backlash from people who were typically supporters of his, including prominent evangelicals and figures on the right, including Riley Gaines, who's been a guest at the White House and questioned why the president would share that image in the first place. She wrote, "I cannot understand why he'd post this. Is he looking for a response? Does he actually think this?" It was only a few hours later that the president deleted that image that he had shared on Truth Social, one that he had posted in the hours after he had criticized the Pope online, calling the Pope too liberal after he spoke out against the United States' war in Iran. Now, the president did not delete his criticism of the Pope, but he did delete the one that made him look like he was Jesus Christ.
Everyone just says, well, Jared Kushner is the one who's controlling Donald Trump. But let me ask you this question. If you were the true puppet master, would you put yourself on stage? Would you have that spotlight shone on you so that if something goes wrong, everyone blames you? Everyone now thinks if this war in Iran goes sideways, it's Jared Kushner's fault. If this war in Ukraine explodes, it's Jared Kushner's fault. If things don't work out in Israel, it's Jared Kushner's fault. It was never Donald Trump, it was Jared Kushner. And so that's what Donald Trump is doing this term. He is letting his enemies get on stage and make complete jackasses of themselves. Right? So, but you're like, wait, Jared Kushner is Trump's son-in-law. They're not enemies. Yes, they are. If you know Donald Trump's personality, he values one thing and one thing only: loyalty. Jared Kushner is not loyal to Donald Trump, and we know because after January 6th, when everyone was distancing himself or herself from Donald Trump, Jared Kushner and Ivanka disappeared. Okay? Just go back to that time when Trump's cabinet was quitting on him, when the Republicans were calling for his impeachment. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, who made a lot of money in Trump's first term, they disappeared because they didn't want to lose their friends. They didn't want to be associated with the dumpster fire that was Donald Trump. Do you think that Donald Trump might have a grudge against Jared Kushner?
That would make sense to me.
I would think so. And do you think Donald Trump is a guy to like just go? Do you think that he's like, well, you know, yeah, he betrayed me, but at the same time, he's still my son-in-law, and, you know, he's the father of my grandchildren, and he's a husband to my favorite daughter, Ivanka. No, he's like, screw this guy. First of all, he stole my daughter from me. Second of all, he made her convert. What is that crap? And third of all, when I needed him the most, he ran away. So Jared Kushner comes back from exile, and now he is the most high-profile member of Trump's team in the Middle East. Do you think that's a good thing for him or a bad thing for him?
I think he thinks it's a good thing for him.
He does.
Right.
But that's why Trump is so good, because he gives you what you want, right? If you love someone, you want to protect that person. You want to do what's right for that person. You don't give that person whatever he or she wants.
You've got to take Jesus, and you've got to forget Jesus as a man. You must think of Jesus as the Son. If you can do that, then we can talk about this. If you're going to hold on to Jesus as a man, we can't, because it doesn't come out of that. That's the mythological part. If you understand Jesus as the Son, then we can get somewhere. Why? Because the name Jesus is a Greek name. The fact that the Jewish Messiah has a Greek name should tell you that you might want to think in different ways about who this is. Okay. The name Jesus is given in Greek because in Greek, names have numerical values and then mean something other than the name. The name Jesus has a numerical value of 888, which is the mythical Son. So that's why the name. Let me show you that on overhead 49. I'll show you the name Jesus written in Greek. The name Jesus written in Greek is not J-E-S-U-S. This is the way it is in the Greek text. This is the original. As you can see, there's 6 letters. The first letter has a value of 10, then 8, 270, 400, 200. And as you can see, the total value of the name Jesus in Greek is 888, which is in Greek the mythical Son. Jesus is the Son. So then who are the 12 disciples? Of course, they're the 12 constellations, okay? The 12 constellations of the ecliptic. The ecliptic is that imaginary pathway that these 12 constellations line, which the sun touches. So the 12 disciples are the 12 constellations of the ecliptic which the sun touches in its journey. This is the way it works. The sun, Jesus, gives to the 12 constellations. The 12 give to the universe by ministering out. The universe gives to the earth. So now it can be possible that something comes from heavenly bodies. The 12 constellations, then the stars and the galaxies, all part of the one. Jesus gives to the disciples the 12 constellations. The disciples preach the gospel by sending down angels of light all over the universe, and angels of light and angels of light, such as coming from Eta Carina, touch the earth and bring healing. My friends, if you can understand the disciples as the heavenly bodies, the 12 constellations receiving from the Son, which is Jesus, then you can understand the Bible. That's what the Bible is all about. That is why Jesus is born of a virgin, Virgo, in the 9th month of September. That is why Jesus is crucified on the Southern Cross, December 21st, the shortest day of the year. That is why he's in the tomb 3 days and 3 nights, which is the winter solstice, December 22nd, 23rd, 24th. That is why he is born on December 25th, which is the first day after the winter solstice. That is why he enters the water with the waterman John, because 30 days after the solstice, the sun enters into the sign of the waterman Aquarius. That is why he selects his disciples from fishermen, because the sun then enters Pisces. That is why he's the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world, because the sun enters Aries, the Lamb that takes away the cold of the winter. That is why he sits at the right hand of the Father, because the sun right ascends on June 21st, the longest day of the year, to the eastern sky to sit at the right hand of the universe. That is why he concludes in Revelation as the Lion of Judah, because the sun concludes his journey in August in the sign of Leo. It is the sun and the 12 constellations that give healing of light to the earth. And you know, it's true. And I can prove every bit of it, and so can you. And so when people say, you don't believe that Jesus lived, I believe that Jesus lives, because I know what the word means. So if we understand that something is coming down from the 12, and it is touching the earth, then we can understand Scripture now. We can understand the Son speaking to the 12. Watch.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.